Morning everybody, welcome back to another video. I know it's been a while since I made one. I just didn't really want to make one unless I had something that was worth coming out. So what I wanted to do today is because there's been some updates that I think are worth sharing with you. Some of them relating to a recent thing and others are relating to something that's happened over the last couple of weeks. The first is relating to the idea that if you remember, if you've read my books or watched some of the videos, where I talk about the idea of us moving into 5DA as being a new universe in which we will bring our physical bodies as well as our spiritual bodies. We'll combine those two together, which is something that has never been done, which is why I call it a new universe. And no one else has been talking about that for a long time. And what I did find over the last couple of weeks is that the Pleiadians and the Andromedans are both discussing the idea of us shifting, yes Foxy, of us shifting to the new reality. They still call it 5D without realizing it's going to be a new universe. But they're talking about that shifting and that we will be having and taking a physical body with us. We will be combining. So it's kind of nice to hear the confirmation coming from some others about the things that I have been talking about that are going to be coming down. So that is one update, is that the idea we're going to be moving to that, and we are going to be taking our physical bodies with us in order to combine spiritual and physical, so we will have the spiritual abilities to be able to do things as well as being able to do those things within a physical body, and to be able to experience the universe differently than we have been, either as just a light body or as just a physical body. So that is what's coming and is progressing. The other thing I wanted to mention is that I've been talking for a while about us moving forward into the fourth dimension before we get to 5DA. And it's something that I've been feeling very strongly the last couple of days. I do some research online occasionally for different medical treatments for some issues my wife has. And I've noticed that recently there have been some more, I should say, more organic or alternative medical type things that are coming out in reference to herbs and some other supplements and things that are now coming out that our studies are showing are related to what she needs. And this is again an indicator that the changes that we have going on, because I mentioned, if you read my last book, Entering the Fourth Dimensional Matrix, that the medical field and all these things were going to change, and that alternative medicines, alternative practices, holistic things are going to be coming back, and they're going to be becoming much stronger, and they're going to be working a lot better than what they have in the past because of the new energies of the fourth dimension and the amount of energies that are there. That's all the different vibrations. The other thing that came out recently that really confirms the fact that we have moved into a completely different vibration is the idea that Microsoft has stated that they have found a new state of matter. Now, I'm not going to go into a lot of details because I haven't read all the work on it yet. I just have an overview of it. And here's what it says. Microsoft says it has created a new state of matter to power quantum computers. Microsoft's new topographical qubit is not based on a solid, liquid, or a gas. It's another phase of matter that many experts did not think was possible. Well, what that really means to us is that in order for that, remember the old paradigms, everything either had to be a liquid, a gas, or a solid. Well, now they've discovered that it doesn't have to be that. And that also applies to the laws of thermodynamics that they say are set in stone, even though they're not, and all the basic lies and laws that science has told us that are absolutes. Well, they're not, because we've now moved into the fourth dimension. And in order for them to have discovered this so-called new form of matter, we have to be moved into a different vibrational field, which is, again, the fourth dimension. This is something that exists there. Where this is going to be going, if it progresses the way that my intention is to have it progressing, is that this new particle, so to speak, this type of matter is something that can be everything simultaneously. Essentially, you can have it can be multiple objects at the same time. It can basically convert itself into like anything. For those of you who may have watched some of the Terminator movies, the one where they had the liquid metal Terminator that could basically copy anything that it touched, this is going to be similar to what will happen with that matter over time. For those of you that also used to watch Star Trek, if you remember the replicators that they had on board Star Trek, that anytime they needed something, they simply went to their computer, they put it in there, and it automatically created it for them to be able to utilize. And that is where this new form of matter can take us, because what's happened is it's tapped into the astral level, the fourth dimensional level, where there is an extreme abundance of energy. And once we progress with it technologically, again, if we get going on the path that I want to go on, it's going to allow humanity to be able to program whatever it is they want into the computers. Basically anything that we can imagine, anything that can exist that we can program into a computer, it can be materialized. And it will mean that everyone will have whatever it is they need. You know, the idea of everybody first going for all kinds of abundance and things, riches and jewels and minerals and metals and all that stuff. Well, just think about that for a minute. If everybody had the ability to have a replicator to where anything that exists or existed can be replicated and produced, manifest to become usable, think about what the value of silver, gold, diamonds, crypto, cash, think about what the value of all that stuff would be. It would end up being virtually worthless because anybody could have as much of it as they wanted to. So the idea that's why the powers to be are not going to, I said I'm a little hot, I did my walking, 5-mile walk. The powers to be are going to try to control that technology as much as they can in order not to release it in that direction. And our goal, of course, is to get it to go that direction, to where humanity will be able to have the unlimited abundance that we do have available out there. Remember, we've been convinced otherwise that we have limitations and there are shortages. That's all bullshit. There is there is virtually unlimited energy out there that can be converted into whatever it is we need. If you've read some of my, particularly the second one, We Are the Real Body Snatchers, I mentioned about one of the instances where I found myself in space, outside of a small ship, as well as inside the ship, and I was basically observing the driver of it and myself sitting on the other side, and the conversation. I was able to hear the conversation that was going on, and one of the things that he mentioned is that there is enough energy in a handful of space to power the entire Earth basically forever. And this new particle, essentially element that they have come up with, is tapping into that energy, like the free energy source, the 0 point energy. It's all coming from the same place, and it's all tied together. So the goal is to try to make the technology get released, and AI will help us with that. And then as we advance the AI computers, we'll be able to have all these things programmed, and everyone will be able to have the things that they need on this world. And that's the way it should be as we move into the fourth dimension. So anyway, those are just a couple updates that we have going on, and thank you very much for your time.